Hey guys, welcome back to the Pure Goddess channel. My name is Gwenly. I hope everyone's doing well. There's so much going on, you guys. Good, bad, ugly, beautiful, massive changes for the better. It's just this energy that's like ramping up. You know, it's really exciting. You're like in the unknown. You don't know what's coming next, but it's just like this pressure to keep on going, this pressure to don't give up, to go with the flow, to hold on tight, to having morals and values and integrity, and you know, just keep going strong and treating people how they deserve to be treated and how you would like to be treated as well. Also, all eyes are on us. Like, there's no more hiding. I have so many emotions. Like, I am on a roller coaster, but more on a good one, because when Spirit has prepared me for the past week, to be able to stomach this information that I received about 2 days ago. So for the past week, the past 6 days, I've been feeling like I want to throw up, I want to puke, and it could be, you know, the changes in the atmosphere in Mama Gaia, you know, like on this earth, the changes, the energy, very, very intense, right? The planets. I'm not too familiar with that stuff, but you know, I do follow people who are more experienced in that and know what they're talking about. So, you know, when you resonate with certain things, you feel it, you know it. You can't sleep at night, you know. The energy is heavy. I can't even describe, you know, it's been crazy. And just very eye-opening. And, you know, this information I've been anticipating, you know, is it gonna come through a form of like physical form, someone in person, through the phone, online, you know, a phone call, text message, through spirit, through someone that my spirit, my physical, like, spirit guides, who I follow on, you know, YouTube, who are so special and important to me. And you know, they are like my people, you know, even though it's online. I watch them every day or when I can, and they're just always on point, right? So it's been close to a whole week where I'm just like feeling so nauseous, and I'm like, what's going on? Something is coming, right? And something not so good, right? It's this feeling of like, I want to puke. It's just not, it's some heavy news or a heavy truth that's coming. Like, what the fuck? What else can happen in my life? What else? What other news can I get? You know what I'm saying? Thank God that me and my son, we have life, you know, and we are healthy and we are happy and we are good. But what other news can we get? You know? What truth can we get that we don't already know? What I already, you know? So, you know, I'm anticipating, and I'm seeing, you know, it was a calm morning. You know, I was at home with my son. It was a calm morning, slow morning, relaxing, doing our chores at home, just chilling, right? And I'm listening to a reader that I watch, and, you know, she gives me some information, like, just by the title. I'm like, okay, you know, like, this is it. And, you know, sometimes, most of the time, you know, everyone has psychic sense, intuition. We just gotta work on it, make it stronger, you know, our abilities, and and being open, right? So I've always had a knowing my whole life, you know. My whole life I've always been like, and this is because of family who made me believe and feel this type of way. Depression, feeling abandoned, being so lonely all the time, not having anyone like to talk to, you know, no one having my back, not feeling loved. And, you know, little by little, I was getting information here and there, nudges, childhood trauma, you know, things kept coming back because a lot of it I tried to forget, and because it just hurt, you know. How can you not love your child or show them love or treat them how they're supposed to be treated? You know, children are so pure, and they're just beautiful beings, you know. And, you know, I was made to believe and to feel this evilness, you know, like I was shit, you know, I was garbage. Like the strongest projection ever from my parents, you know. Sometimes unknowingly, you know, because they still had that trauma, that unhealed trauma. But a lot of it was knowingly, and just not wanting nothing good for me in my life, and treating me like crap, you know, like I'm a prisoner. And they, you know, especially my mother, just, you know, not wanting anything good for me, for my life, never motivating me, make me in front of people, you know, telling me I'm beautiful or things like this. But she never, you know, in public, you know, telling me I'm beautiful, but never in private, never made me feel beautiful at all. Always, you know, having envy and jealousy towards me since I was a little girl, you know. So I was broken, you know. They, even before I how do you say, transformed into, or, you know, had the chance to know myself as a person, as a girl, as a human being, as a teenager, as a grown woman, you know, like, they never gave me that opportunity to be curious and you know, just, I don't know how I would explain it. I was always told I'm this, I'm that, all negative by my mother, you know. And you know, she would put my siblings against me, you know, against each other, and just, why I'm saying this is because the truth that I've always known my whole life, you know, there's a knowing within us that we just know the truth, but it just, the hurts, the times that the trauma, all the times we've been so hurt, and you know, as pure beings, as innocent beings, right? And when we don't have no one to protect us and to shield us from people who want to hurt us, what else are we gonna do? You know, they're the ones that are supposed to be our protectors or shields and love us unconditionally. And you know, we're not perfect, but love us more than hate. And you know, I thought that was life, you know, and I was depressed for all my life. You know, it took me a lot to get out of this depression. It's a depression, it's like literally chronic depression, you know. I had it my whole life, and I worked really hard to get out of that, and to actually get to know myself and to love myself. Like, I deserve, you know, like, me, I've been hiding within me all my life, and I never blossomed, you know, in a healthy manner. I never blossomed into the person I am truly, I truly am. And that was another, like, that was like a death, you know, of my old self, you know, a death of the old me, of who my family projected me to be because of them. That was never me, you know. I remember when my mom got remarried, you know, my stepfather, he's been in my life since I was 9 years old. So my whole life, basically, right? From 9 until now, he's still married to my mom now, but they married a few years back. You know, they were into, you know, Catholicism, you know, going to church, Bible study, all this, you know, just more hardcore Catholic beings. And so they got married through the church, and they had their friends and everything, you know, they had people to like plan and all. I have never been close to my mother. I've tried my whole life to be a good daughter. I would help her do her hair, makeup, get her dressed, like, you know, I was that friend. And I was treated like Cinderella by her, you know. I would clean the house. I was the oldest. I am the oldest. I would watch over my siblings, you know, in summer break because I had working parents. But always treated like trash, like you get the scraps, you know. And you know, I thought that was normal. You know, I thought that was normal for a very long time because I love my mom, you know. And so I've never been close to my mom because she's never let me get close to her like that. She just didn't care for me at all. And so I remember for her wedding day, you know, everyone has a position in like the wedding ceremony. If it's at church, everyone has their position, right? This person, the flower girl or whatever, you know, to include the kids into the wedding ceremony day, whatever. At that time, I was not close to my mom. I would go to the gym, do what I do. Oh, wow. What the heck? Okay. The chills on my body. The amount of truth that we're getting, it's unbelievable. It's heartbreaking. It's real. It's our reality. You know, like, I just got a notification. And it's not even anger anymore. You know, I've always had this in the back of my head. Knowing the truth, but being paranoid. Family can't do this to me. Family is not like this and like that, and they can't think this of me, and they can't treat me like this, and you know, like, confirmation. The last confirmation I needed, I just got. Oh, Lord. Controlling family. Controlling family. Lord have mercy. I mean, I've been betrayed by everyone in my family, you know, my whole life. And that, you know, this is one of the biggest lessons for me is, and the hardest lesson is to let go of family. To let go of family. I have so much integrity and loyalty. And I love hard. I love hard. And I love healthy. I'm not toxic. I have insecurities, yes, but I'm open to talking about my insecurities and my traumas, and you know, like, I'm an open person. I don't act out because I haven't healed this part of myself. I don't act out towards partners or whoever. Sometimes it happens without knowing. Sometimes you get triggered thinking you've already healed certain parts of yourself, but you still need more healing, right? Because healing is never ending. We're growing. We're transforming. That's how it's supposed to be. A lot of people stay stuck. But how many times have I given my family chance after chance after chance, knowing, being so intuitive and psychic, knowing that I was betrayed, knowing that I was lied. My name has been smeared through the floor everywhere. It's the way my name my whole life, you guys, my whole life. When your parents hurt you so much that you have to distance yourself, you love them so much, but they hurt you so much, and they don't change, or they do things behind your back, right? Intentionally. Manipulation, control. It's like a death. My mother has already died. Like, how would I explain it? I've mourned her death because she can no longer be in my life hurting me. I will love her from a distance, but never see her again unless the Lord changes her and she decides to heal and become and heal and change, but I forgive, but I can't forget. I've forgotten because I love my family so much, and I've gone back and tried to mend a broken relationship when they half-ass wanting to be in my presence and showing fake love to me, but my father, he really manipulation, control, judgment. He's always been the good guy and my mom the bad guy, right? He's always been on my side until after I had my son, things started changing. People started promising me, because I became a single mother when even when my son was 3 months old. I took a flight, got on the airplane with my 3-month-old from Minnesota to Oregon to be with my family because I didn't have nowhere else to go, right? I was dealing with a narcissist, and I needed to heal my body. I needed to heal and deal with what was going on with this person, and raise a baby, motherhood is new to me. It was new to me at that time, and I had to put priorities, like put my hair in my personal feelings towards my mother and the household apart because I had to survive, and that was really hard. When my son he turned 2.5, it was, yeah, like 2.5 years old. That's when I got my own place with my baby, and you know, we've been on our own living since. You know, I could never live with my mother in her household. Very, very toxic. When the Lord, oh man, I tell you guys, it's bittersweet. Bittersweet. Because the truth is finally out, right? The truth is finally out. You know, something I've always known in the back of my head, but you know, what's stronger, the mind or the heart? And for my whole life, it's been my heart. It takes over. No matter how many times my own family has betrayed me and judged me and looked down upon me and never praised me, never gave me love. If love was given and motivation, and it was always, there's an intention behind that. And my father played real well. And that's, you know, when you have family members who are there to help, who say they're gonna be there for you, especially when I moved back home with my newborn baby. They're there for you, they say it, but then they get distant again. My whole life, my parents have been distant with me. You know, they grew up they're orphans basically. So they never healed. You know, it's been years and they probably have done some healing. Oh my God, what do you want? There's like a green truck right in front of me. My whole life, my parents have always been distant. It's like we raised ourselves. You know, they didn't have no one to raise them and to be there for them as true parents, and you know, they didn't know any better. You know, and people, no matter the age, sometimes they don't mature. You know? And I'm gonna move the car, you guys. And when people tell you they're gonna be there, but they're really not. You know, it's normal in my life for people to tell me, sugarcoat things, or love bomb. But you know, it all started with my parents. Love bomb me and then leave. It's like ghosting my whole life. And then they come back and then they go. That's not it's not consistent, right? Kids, children need consistency. And you know, I still, till this day, I beat myself up because I'm a single parent, right? Unfortunately, I did not heal a lot of my childhood trauma and wounds and abandonment issues and, you know, people pleasing before I had my child. And it's always meant for a reason, right? It's always a lot of families, this is what it is because there's a purpose behind it, right? Our children motivate us to heal. It's like a mirror. It's a mirror for sure, you know. That's crazy. The chills I have in my body. It's just my life. It's come back to a full circle now, you guys. Full circle, and I'm finally ready to move the fuck on with my life and leave all those people behind, because till this day they're controlling, till this day they are manipulating, till this day, you know, they haven't changed. They haven't changed. And I am not gonna be played with anymore. When 7-Eleven, when you've had enough, you've had enough. It's done, you know. And you just let things go and let things be, and everyone can fend for themselves. Because knowing me and my strength and my power and my protection I have, I was protecting these family members for my whole life. You know, once you separate from people and that's it, it's their time. You know, karma is gonna come. Justice, divine justice is gonna come. And you have to learn the art of detaching from people, from everyone. Once you learn that, cutting people off is so much easier. And it's not in a toxic way or in a manipulative way or abusive way. You know, it's setting boundaries, self-love, going on the self-love journey, you know, finding who you truly are, the good and the bad, the dark and the light and the shadow, you know. And, you know, learning how to transmute energy, negative energy. You know, you get to a point where no one can fuck with you anymore because you can transmute negative energy. You're a master at it. And no matter, you know, you learn how to transmute negative energy, and you transmute it, you recycle it into the earth, into, you know, you let Mama Gaia like deal with it. this fire inside of me, you know, knowing the truth, but not having proof, still breaks your heart. Part of that heart is dangling. It's you know, it's like it's holding on until you get the facts, get the truth, have the proof. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. It's showtime, you guys. I've been saying 3, 2, 1 all day. All freaking day. When I tell you it's bittersweet, it's bittersweet. When you finally have the truth, you know the truth, you feel the truth, you know, unknowingly, what is it, like, subconsciously, you know the truth, right? But you don't have proof, you don't have the facts. But when you have that, most times I would break down crying, but today it's this fire in me that it's a done deal. It's a full circle, you know, like closing cycle. The motivation, the passion, the fire that is inside of me, it's like a rocket that just wants to shoot. I posted something on Facebook a few weeks ago. It was a video of it was like a meme video, right? Of a mountain, like a cliff, and the cliff, there's, you know, like you fall out. If you reach the top, the edge, you could fall down, and there's ladder or stairs, and you're climbing, right? And you have another person up there who's holding it on for you, holding the ladder for you to get up. 1 or 2 people, I don't remember the video well, but you have that one person holding the ladder for you, and you're climbing it, and you're climbing it. So they're helping, but they're not, because you know, it's like the backstab. They're still, you know, it's like a veil, a mask. They're there to help you on your worst times, but they're the ones that are fucking betraying you at the same time, you know? The chills. Oh, Lord. And last night was a full moon. This is when the fucking energies start ramping up. When the manipulation and control want to come in as help. Yep. When you're wide awake. You can't fucking unseat nothing anymore. You know, people are gonna be kissing your fucking ass. 1818. Eleven ten 111. People are going to be kissing your ass. People know that their time is near, and they don't know what the fuck is gonna happen to them. They anticipate, they don't know. You know, like I tell you guys, you mourn people, even though they're still alive in this on this earth till this day. You still mourn people when so much they've done to you. They're dead to us now. You have to mourn them. That's part of loving from a distance, because you need to learn the art of detachment. If not, you can't move on. And that's why I'm not fucking having, like, crying hysterically, because I've learned the art of detachment. And doesn't mean I'm not gonna cry, but it's not hitting me like how I was emotionally attached to people. And this is my blood family. Us chosen ones, we have to learn that. There's no in, ands, or buts about it. There's no excuse. I've had an excuse for a very long time. My whole life. You know, this is the biggest lesson for me, is to let my fucking family go. Oh, Lord. You know, family will have you stuck in a fucking rut, caught in a karmic cycle. Excuse me. And you keep pushing and pushing and pushing forward and trying to heal and try to better yourself every day, and you can't. And you feel like something has you stuck, something is pulling you back to your old self, to your karmic self, back to your old ways, your old self that you've already like a snake, like shed its not that word snakes, because we're loyal as heck, but when you shed your old self and these people try to pull you back, you know, I've been dealing with this all my life. When I moved away from home at 22, I moved states, and so I had no I still had contact, but my parents have always been distant. That's just who they are, how they show me love, you know. And so it didn't really bother much. And they weren't in my energy in that way, that they know what the fuck I was doing every day, or who I'm surrounded, or the environments I was in, or if I'm growing and healing, if I'm bettering my life, myself, if I'm going to the gym every day, you know, like, they can't see those things on a daily because they're so far away, right? 1,000 plus miles away. And so they couldn't mess with me, you know, and they couldn't mess with me. But I was in a cycle of addiction. I was in a cycle of, you know, drinking alcohol Friday, Saturday, and it's not, it wasn't bad. I would have my CNA job, my, taking care of the elderly, and I would go, after work. I was off at 11, go have like a whiskey on the rocks and like a cigarette and go home. But then I would party so hard, and I love dancing, I love music. I would drink and drink and drink and just trying to like drown, and that's how I would cope with how unloved I felt, and how much trauma I had, and how abandoned I felt, and how lonely I felt, so lost, I felt very lost, and depressed. And I had a good mask to put on because my own family had a mask on in public and in private. Different masks on, I didn't know what I wanted to do, what I wanted to be, everything that everything that I've achieved in life as a girl, in school or in music. I was so good at playing the violin. But everything, my mother, she just destroyed. She belittled me, or she made it as if it was nothing. And I was, first, second, I would be in competition with one of my classmates, first chair and second chair in orchestra class. I was always first and second chair. Like, we would have these little tests in our orchestra class every time we had class, and I would compete. First and second chair would always compete. Who did the best today? Who is reciting, who is practicing at home, who is doing their homework, and one day it would be me, the next day it would be my classmate Chibia, this African girl, who has a pure heart as well, and she made it to the symphony, you guys, the Oregon Symphony, and we were good. Like, it was so fun, and my mother, those are one of the things that she took away from me. She knew that made me so happy, and she just wanted me to be miserable and depressed and sad and lonely. Like, that's how evil, that's who my mom is, and she still is. And yeah, there's some things I would, that's why I didn't spend a lot of time at home as a teenager. There was no stability, and I was that for my siblings for a long time, until I couldn't stand it. I couldn't handle it anymore. I had to leave. She let all the negative demons, spirits, entities take over her and go off on me, and do all these things. Like, she was used. Her vessel was used by demons, and that just, it's the saddest thing, I would always come back to her because she's my mother, I love her. I would always come back and try to be the loving daughter. What I wanted, to feel as a child, I would give that to her, and she couldn't give that. And, it was a very toxic home environment. We raised ourselves like when the TV raises you, as children. And yeah, there's the parents have their trauma. I'm a parent now. When I had my son, I felt betrayed again by my own mother, because I'm like, how can my own mother treat me like this? And I look at my son, and he is the most important thing in my life. And how can I ever treat him like how she did to me? I could never. And I could never abandon my own children, just like how my father did. He my mother and their relationship didn't end good, and so they separated. And obviously my father, my mom was a mom, so she stayed with the kids. The kids stayed with her, and my father, well, he moved out. And but he did abandon us. He left. And the relationship is obviously different. You don't live with your kids anymore. And my dad used to work a lot. He worked from 6:30, 7 a.m. to mid shift. To afternoon shift, 11 p.m., 11 p.m. And he tried his best as his unhealed self, and he was toxic, but he tried his best. And he tells me that he didn't want that for us, as how